Hi folks, this is my radio collection, mostly transistor radios in this case here. A couple of tube radios on top, actually more than a couple, but let's get closer to the cabinet. Take a look here. We've got, speaking of tubes, we got some tube boxes, vacuum tube boxes from various manufacturers of that era. Some old transistors. Some of the first transistors commercially made from the early 50s. The smallest ones went into hearing aids. Transistors were first used in hearing aids before transistor radios. A little known fact. Sony, probably one of the smallest Sonys made.
Longest drive here from Diamond Bar Boulevard, Griffith Park 5 north from the 134 to west, turn to 3.
Doesn't sound too good, but it does work. Most of these radios do work. The few of them that don't, I don't really want to alter them. Try to keep them as original as possible. Mostly some Toshibas here and a Sony in the back. Some models, but some of these are actually working radios. This is a crystal radio I made out of a rocket and a little crystal radio I had, and I put those together. So got the earphone jack on the bottom, little connector for the antenna or ground. Most of these transistor radios, I'd say, were 60s vintage, early 60s especially. A couple of late 50s I have, but these are obviously from the 70s, around the bicentennial era. An AM/FM tube radio. This is actually a little...
You need to do to give yourself a more...
Could use a little cleaning. This is a miniature replica. A tube VHF radio. Another rather unattractive tube radio. Clock radio with tubes in it. Yet another tube AM radio. Oh, and then these are probably my favorite transistor radios, especially this one on the left. This one on the right, speaking of not working, since this one's kind of valuable, solar powered, 1957 solar powered radio. Doesn't work on solar, this one, but since it's relatively valuable, or at least it's not all hugely valuable, but it's one of the more valuable ones I have, and so I'm not going to alter that one. This one's made in England. Just gorgeous. Mirrored background, beautiful dial. AM broadcast band and long wave, because it's a European radio, so they're going to have long wave. My boombox that I bought brand new in the 80s, that still works perfectly, except for the bass speaker doesn't sound quite as good as it used to. Otherwise it sounds good, works well. This is really nothing to speak of. My stereo system and some older tube equipment, kind of ham radio type equipment we got here. Receiver on top, transmitter on the bottom. These were kits, so somebody actually put these together. These weren't produced at a factory. These were kits that somebody put together. VFO that actually matches these transmitters down here. Ham radio transmitters for the HF band. Okay, I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, we got stuff down here too. Well, I'm not going to go through too much of this stuff. Shortwave radio made in Russia. Alright, well thanks for viewing. Hope you liked it. Bye-bye.